Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm, part 29, Inertia. Again, sorry for not uploading more like 7 mathematical proofs yesterday, gotta keep grinding. But we're going to start this episode with a fundamental physical sociological proof. What is that? Inertia is a property of matter. Who knows where that comes from? Everybody. If you ask somebody to say something about the Bill Nye TV show, this is the sentence they are going to remember. Why? Because it is defined wrong in fundamental physics. Inertia is the tendency to not change. I looked it up. It's a slightly different definition, dictionary definition today, but just Google it. But it's like if you Google it, they use the word nothing. But from all of our logic and math, if you have a statement that is defined in the negative, you can always redefine it in the positive, and that's going to be a better, more applicable definition. So we have our empirical value function. Inertia is the tendency to not change. And that is why you remember inertia is a property of matter, because it is. It's not a property of light. And we've shown the fundamental differences between matter and light. Some more nuanced things I have to go through or develop myself, but all of the pieces are there. So we just need to review inertial reference frames and non-inertial reference frames. Again, just for historical relevance, obviously Isaac Newton came before Albert Einstein. I'm confident Isaac Newton had a better development of physics and mathematics. So we see Albert Einstein also not understanding inertia. Because if it's not defined correctly, you can't learn stuff that isn't correct. So what is an inertial reference frame versus a non-inertial reference frame? Inertial reference frames are when Newton's first law of motion applies. It's at a constant speed and there's no external forces acting against it. Right? Previous to that, remember, it was the natural state of things was expected to come to a stop. But what we've done, right, so we can now classify all physical systems, all independent systems, right, there's no closed systems, and nothing is touching and everything is interacting. So we can have static systems that are vibrating, systems that are oscillating, systems that are in equilibrium. We have inertial systems that are moving in relation to other objects in that system at a constant speed and no external force. We have non-inertial systems that change, acceleration. And so general relativity was the big attempt at understanding non-inertial reference frames, non-inertial systems, change, acceleration. So we should be able, that is where tension is going to come into play. How does tension relate to inertia? Clearly a fundamental physical property psychologically and certainly physically, but just as is, inertia, right? The prefix in is typically a negative. So when I was learning, still now I had to look this up before I made this video, but the word inertia, the definition's fine, but the word inertia within, it just always struck me as just logically, as a student, as developing the proofs now, it strikes me as wrong. That's what I wanted to say there. That's the inertia is the physical property, the physical thing no physicist has really understood in a developed mathematical framework. Constructing and deconstructing the atom with rhythm and the gym. Let me start over. So what I want you to do is go find a lifting video, a person lifting in the gym doing a deadlift that with a weight that they can't actually lift. And what you'll see them doing, there's plenty of examples. They'll start using rhythm to generate the bar. Like this person couldn't properly deadlift, 500 pounds, and they start jiggling the bar and starts generating a rhythm, and then they can bounce the weight up and actually lift it. Keep that picture in mind. That is what we have to do in principle to construct and deconstruct an atom. And just more on the periodic table stuff and atomic stuff. For like cold fusion, I really think you need to make the atoms dance. The diamond's dancing, Bree. But that picture from the gym, if you can again find a way to, right, smashing atoms together, that's how we break it apart very, very violently. But if you can just somehow expansion and contraction, constructing and deconstructing rhythm against the atom, you should be able to tease apart the energy levels without extreme, right? Nuclear energy is splitting apart the nucleus. We should be able to have all sorts of atomic interactions that aren't violently dissipative or, you know, violently isothermic or endothermic, right? If like bombs explode, implosion doesn't physically exist. But when a system is not isothermic, endothermic, it absorbs temperature, it requires energy input to the bonds. All of that should be, again, some function of rhythm. Basis and range, I needed to clear up some things on here. Just in formal mathematical notation, I have basis with a bracket as it's including the boundary, right? We've defined why 0 doesn't exist but includes 1. And we've defined why, you know, I think 2 and 3 exist, so because we agree is the way we transmit agreement of measurement. And then we've shown range is undefined, right? I can always go practice singing more and have more resonance in my voice. Resonance is a function of range. So, I wasn't clear in the last video. More syllables has to be more general and has to have more range. That's how you expand words. Universe is expanding. That's how you expand words in logic. Less syllables has to be more specific, which means reduction to a basis. And now, I say a basis, but we've proven vibration is the basis of sound and the basis of light, which is the basis of matter. So there's one basis. The reason there's no basis, B-A-S-E-S, like if I cover all the bases, if I honk Mark Cuban's wife's boobies, I don't call her Mark Cuban's wife because I just don't know her. Tiffany, if I honk Tiffany's boobies, I got to second base. But there's no plural word for basis because there's no plural physical bases. There's no, right? See, that's the correct logical use. There is no two, there's one basis. Physically, that's it. Again, a logical proof, don't know what to do or don't know how to extend the implications. But for the direct iteration of the sound E, still don't know what it is. It should be a cool proof. But that is why in the English language, when you're learning how to spell, right, rhythm regulates spelling, or, you know, the syllability regulates spelling. That's why you say I before E except after C. It's like a logical approximation about sound, right? There's an approximate proof about sound that everyone's already known. Rhythm, expectation, and the fundamental theorem of movement. So now, I want you to imagine you're at a concert, and you're at that concert, you're screaming and you can't hear yourself, and then the DJ cuts off the music. How much time until you viscerally perceive the song is over, right? If you change the meter of a song, you know, the next thump or the next bass drop or the next note might come 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds later. When is the psychological time you go from I'm expecting another note to, you know, what happened, what changed? So again, that's just a logical, intuitive way that I think about rhythm and expectation for the atom and for just in general. But what's the most fundamental theorem what's the most fundamental thing we can say about movement? For life, sensorality, and for sensorality with a C. Well, we can say dancing, right? Is dancing movement? Yes. Dancing is proportional to excitement. That is the fundamental theorem of movement, right? Slang is the basis of logic, and words are defined in complete generality, so we have to define physical theorems in complete generality. So, right, my diamond's dancing, shout out Future, shout out Drake, but that's why we say that, right? There's no life to light interacting with a diamond. but we literally associate that to dancing. Now, show me one person who doesn't dance instinctually when they get excited. So that is the fundamental theorem of movement. And now just some examples of inertia. One second, gotta change my wardrobe real quick. Uh-oh. Back up. Now I'm ready. All right, 2 examples of inertia, right? Or 3. Joe Biden. Joe Biden's stance on weed. Yep, you White House staffers, you can't smoke any pots. Don't do pots, even though it's, again, proven in a new math subject that it cures. I'd have to do some work on that word, just the word, not the function. But again, he's Joe Biden's, he won't change. He won't change his stance, right? Inertia, stubbornness is a property of inertia. But yeah, you can't smoke pot, you can't just, do basic science and work in the White House. But we're gonna promote health and get the COVID vaccines out there, but we're not gonna support the underlying basis of health and just support health in general. And inertia really came into play when Joe Biden was trying to go up the stairs the other day. Joe, I know you're in Columbus today. You're going to the James Cancer Center. Remind all of those doctors who won't prescribe cannabis today, they're in violation of a direct legal and lawful order. So if they want their legal license sued, that they are welcome to keep, again, not promoting science in the name of the Hippocratic Oath. Completely understandable. The fuck it all. And the other example of inertia is, again, the Catholic Church. Can't have gay fags. No gay fags, Pope Francis, even though Jesus was a gay fag. And that language lesson, when I stopped and chuckled like this, the actual verbiage that I restricted was a fruit cup fag. Because was he a profound intellectual? Absolutely. Would he be at a pride parade? Absolutely. So it's really weird spreading. Again, the Catholic Church can do whatever the fuck they want with the Catholic Church. As far as I'm concerned, nobody has any fucking authority to speak on Jesus or God, historically or any religiously at all, without a gold seal of approval from me. Because I don't give a fuck. You can spread hate, I really just don't care. But if you're going to spread fraud in the name of history and then say, well, God, well, fuck you too. So I encourage you, Pope Francis, come to Columbus, Ohio. Plenty of Catholic families here right now today that won't watch these videos, that won't support science, that results in the death of other people because of inertia. Because people can't fucking change. So, thanks for watching. Direct logical connection between fundamental physics and psychology. So now we can extend that logic and say inert, inertia, inertial, inertiality. We'll just leave that there. Thanks for watching part 29, Inertia.